Hi, welcome to Off Script. I'm Zach Lewis.
And I'm Dr. Draper.
Andy, Dune is out. I don't believe it. It's finally
Dune!
here. Dune.
Dune! Yeah, I was thinking and he's the Futurama guy.
Yes,
Dune!
Dune. Oh, I'm so glad Dune's here. Dune is finally here. If you've been listening to the show, you know we've been very excited about it. Denis Villeneuve's new blockbuster has arrived. We have seen it. We're very excited to talk about it. We're also going to take a look at Saint Maude, the 2019 A24 film about a young hospice nurse with a very, very devout relationship with Christ, is on Hulu. We happened to find it over the weekend. We needed kind of a pinch hitter because the French Dispatch doesn't actually come out till next week. So we found Saint Maud in the meantime. We watched it, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about things that are coming out in November, including movies like Eternals and Ghostbusters Afterlife, so stick around for that. And before all of that, we need to get to the news. And the biggest news of all that I probably shouldn't have front-loaded on the show, but I told Andy I had to because I'm so excited about it. Andy, Dune 2 is happening. I don't believe
2.
it.
That's
Oh my
right.
God. Amazing. Amazing. I'm so
Dune
excited.
2, Sandy Boogaloo.
Yes. Sandy Boogaloo, is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. 1,000 times yes. I'll pay the price.
Right. So Dune was just made. They didn't make. This was a very brave thing to do. Denis Villeneuve made the first movie without knowing whether or not they would make the second movie, and basically it all depended on how well this first movie did at the box office. Luckily, it's done well enough. We'll talk about that more later. So Dune 2 will be happening. We'll see it in 2 years on October 20th. 2023. It's a long time to wait, but like I said, they kind of had to wait and see how this would do.
I think this strategy is nuts. I get why they do it. Warner Brothers pushed out Dune. That's where this is coming from. Specifically, Legendary Pictures. It's published by Warner Brothers. Before this, Warner Brothers did this exact same strategy with New Line Cinema's It films. They released It as its own independent film, and then at the end of the movie, surprise, you get a title card that says It Chapter One. And then the next one came a couple summers later. They did the same thing. They didn't shoot It one back to back. They shot the first one just to see how it would do, and then greenlit the second one based off its success. What's interesting about Dune is Denis Villeneuve really wanted a piece of this back when Legendary got the rights to it, all the way back in 2017. He came forward. He was like, "I want a piece of Dune. This movie's going to be awesome. I've always wanted to do it. He just come off Blade Runner 2049. He was really excited." And Warner Brothers gave him the project with the condition, of course, that they shoot them one at a time and kind of see where it goes. But since then, they've announced a prequel series that's going to be on HBO called Dune Sisterhood, about the Bene Gesserit sisters.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Denis Villeneuve said at the Venice Film Festival for this movie when it premiered that he actually wants to do 3 movies: Dune 1, Dune Part 2, and then a film for Dune Messiah, which I think is the second book in the series. He always wanted to tackle that one. So he's got big aspirations. Warner Brothers has big aspirations, and I'm very pleased to see this finally happen. Thank God, right?
Yes, yes.
Dune's a ton of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot to we'll get into this more in our review, but we haven't had a big kind of property like this in a really long time. And I've said this, we haven't had something like Lord of the Rings really. I mean, the Marvel thing, yes, they made a ton of films, but it's kind of different. It's not one property, and it's kind of a ever evolving medium, lots of different separate things coming together. But we haven't had this kind of an epic multi-film work. And like I said, since Lord of the Rings, it's very hard to do and very expensive. So it looks like we might be getting kind of the epic of this generation.
Absolutely. Not to mention, Dune has always been a book that's described as like a book that cannot be adapted into a film, right? David Lynch did it in 1984 with his adaptation of Frank Herbert's Dune. But this is supposed to be an entirely different undertaking. It's building an entire galaxy's worth of lore and history around a humanity that is very much forward in the future. That's not easy to do, especially in one film. We'll talk about whether or not we actually get over the finish line in the movie itself. You're going to have to stick around for the review for that. But before we get to it, Some tragic news this week. A cinematographer on the set of Rust, a film being shot here in Texas, I believe, was
New
shot.
Mexico.
New Mexico, I'm sorry, thank you. Was shot and killed on set after a misfire from a prop weapon by principal actor Alec Baldwin. Really not something we normally cover on this show. Definitely a little dark for us, but this has been getting so much press this week. So many people have been talking about this and how wondering how it could happen. We felt like we should probably just take a couple minutes to address it, maybe talk about on the industry side what happened here and what may, uh, what may happen because of this. Andy, can you give a little bit more details on,
Yeah,
the boots on
yeah.
the
So
ground? What
I'll
happened?
do a short summary and then get into details. So the short story is that actor Alec Baldwin was shooting a scene in this western. He shot what was believed to be a gun with blanks. And I just learned this week. There's no such thing as a fake gun or prop gun. They use real guns on set. But they use blanks. They use, I don't want to say fake ammo, but they use non-live rounds. That way, the guns look and feel real, and then get smoke and like all the gun stuff without the lethal part. But there was an accident. Somehow there was a live round in the gun, and the cinematographer Helena Hutchinson was hit and killed. And there was also I think someone else in the crew was. I think the director actually
Yeah, the
was
film's
hit.
director Joel Souza was hit as well.
Right, because he was standing behind, so like I mean, it's pretty powerful. The bullet went through the first person, hit the second person, and he was in the hospital, in critical condition for the first night, and then I think he's going to be okay. But it's this very bizarre story where an actor was given a gun that was supposed to have a blank. It had live ammo, and he shot and killed someone, and it's messed up all around, and it's completely traumatizing for the actor, for everyone who was there on set. And of course, the loss of life equally. And so now there's a lot of finger pointing, and a lot of like who's responsible, who's supposed to. And so, from what I understand, there's someone called a prop master or armorer who is supposed to clear basically make sure all the guns are safe to use, make sure that there's nothing in the barrel, make sure they're ready to go and have the right ammunition, and they're prepped for the shot. And these safety protocols weren't followed or were neglected. We don't really know. But like I said, an actor was given a gun with a live round, and they shot and killed someone. And so they're still investigating the matter, and we're waiting for more details. But that's the overall gist of what's been happening.
Obviously, it's a tragic incident. There's been a ton of outpouring on social media from people in and outside of the industry. Of course, people have questions. People want to know more, and that information will come out as the Santa Fe Sheriff's Department finds out more and investigates what exactly was going on the set of Rust. There's been some interesting comparisons. A lot of people drew 1993's The Crow as a quick comparison here. Actor Brandon Lee was shot and killed on set due to an incident similar to this. There was also an incident on a CBS show called Cover Up in 1984, where a principal actor was injured by a firearm. It's frustrating. I'm not an armorer. I'm not a prop master. I have no idea how this stuff actually happened. So I can't really speak towards like exact processes and how this could happen on set. I hope there's some kind of small shifts though. At least I know the kind of filmmakers union, IATSE, has since said nobody on that set was actually in union, so they didn't really have a lot of say or sway over what was going on. This is not something that is normally practiced. Just a tragic story. And if there's any big developments, we'll let you know here on Off Script.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to mention there's a lot of ways. I think the way Brandon Lee died, there was like an extra casing, and that's again what the armor is supposed to do. He's supposed to make sure that the gun is clear, because if a gun has a blank in it, but there's some sort of something left over in the barrel, like a projectile, it can become a projectile and be lethal. So there's people who are supposed to check all this, make sure everything's safe to use, that there's no debris or residual whatever. But like I said, in this case, for some ungodly reason there were live rounds in it, and I don't even know why. Well, no, there are reasons why you would have live rounds on set, but like I said, there's people that are supposed to check it, make sure it's all safe to use, and
It's true, and for whatever those reasons are, I know they're few and far between. I mean, I've seen people, yeah, the other prop masters on Twitter since then who've said like there never ever should be one. Other people have said, well, no, you're supposed to use them to keep the guns fresh because on set you're using real guns with fake ammunition. That's the deal. I don't really know, but whatever it is, hopefully we'll learn something from this because my God, like,
yeah.
it's tragic. Yeah, our hearts go out for Helena and her family. Our last story, box office. Dune has wormed its way into first place this weekend. New Bond film, No Time to Die, is tumbling backwards a little bit, and I want to talk about that. And also some unique news around the soft opening for Wes Anderson's new film, The French Dispatch, that gets a full release this Friday. Andy, why? Okay, for people who are new to the show, why is it a big deal that Dune did well? Because I think a lot of people who don't know any better may be like, oh, who cares? It's just another sci-fi movie. But a lot of us in the cinematic community had a lot riding on this thing. We really wanted this to do well.
Yeah, this had to do well. Otherwise, the sequel was just not going to get made, which would be a tragedy. But also, it's a win for everyone because this debuted. It was hybrid release, so you could watch it at home on HBO Max. So it made the most money of any hybrid release that Warner Brothers has done. It surpassed Godzilla vs. Kong was the last one. It's also the biggest opening for Denis Villeneuve, who his prior film Blade Runner 2049 that had been his biggest opening. So he is potentially. He's going to be a blockbuster director eventually, but he hasn't really had massive financial success. So it's a good win for him. It's a win for Timothée Chalamet, the actor who will save cinema.
That's right. Yeah, our new Tom Cruise, Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, I mean, I
the same initials.
I really wanted to not like him, but just not think he was what everyone seems to be. But I think he might really be like
everybody's getting on the Chalamet train. It's happening. I don't like it either. It's fine. Kid's got chops. He's good. Anyway.
But the movie's been successful. Number one at the box office, $40 million. Also highly watched at home from some of the home stats that we have on for HBO Max. So it's doing really well.
Yeah, it's a big deal, not only for Villeneuve being his biggest film to date, right? Congratulations to him. That's tremendous. Additionally, a small shout out to us Blade Runner 2049 fans. We lost the fight. We're winning the war, though, right? Like, yes. Blade Runner 2049 didn't do awesome, but this is doing good. We're getting a sequel. That's exciting. What was really interesting to me about this is pre-pandemic, right? $40 million for a film this size is not particularly impressive at all. That's pretty middling. Post-pandemic, it's pretty exciting. But what was really interesting to me was this report at a Deadline a couple weeks before Dune came out. They were interviewing an official, like a vice president or somebody at Warner Brothers, and they were asking, hey, what's the bar for success for Dune? Like, what kind of numbers are you guys looking at from the box office? What do you want to see? And they said overwhelmingly the thing they want to see the most from Dune is HBO Max views. They want to see how many people are watching and subscribing on that platform. They said that will be the thing that likely greenlits this feature. Like we have our projections for how it's going to do. It's going to do in the box office, and that's exciting. But what happens in HBO? That's going to determine like platform viability going forward. That's important to Warner Brothers. So seeing it make $40 million is great. But knowing that in the background, whatever happened on HBO, whatever numbers they saw was enough for them to go, absolutely, we want another piece of this, we want another bite of this apple, is tremendous. That's a huge success, both for what we can see and can't see. So a tremendous congrats to Villeneuve and friends. He's been getting support from all kinds of filmmakers on the internet. Even Christopher Nolan came out of the woodwork and made an appearance on social media to say that he is a tremendous fan of Dune. It's hard to imagine Villeneuve does not have some serious trappings as the next great something in Hollywood, right? I mean, am I overshooting, Andy, by saying Denis Villeneuve might be like the next great thing? I mean, my God.
No, I mean we've known this for years. I mean, he hasn't made a bad movie.
He literally can't miss. Literally has not missed yet in his career.
I'm trying to go back. So from Sicario,
Enemy, Sicario,
Prisoners.
Prisoners, Arrival, not necessarily in that order. I think I got one of those out of place.
Yeah, but like Arrival was kind of his big, kind of bigger debut. It was a big film, and that's a classic.
It's
Blade Runner
slowly been building. Yeah,
2049. Unfortunately, they didn't do well financially, but it's an incredible film.
Cult classic.
And now this, and he's just, yeah, he's kind of like what Spielberg was doing 30 years ago, was, just thinking on a massive scale.
Yes, very exciting. And I want to talk about more about what he's doing in the film, but a quick mention. I know we're way over on news time here. A couple other things I wanted to talk about in here. No Time to Die. I had some middling news. I don't think it's like a flop. I don't have the numbers exactly in front of me. Andy, do you remember how it did?
No, I just
whether or not that's officially a flop, and I wanted to follow up. I don't think it is. I think it's just kind of right in the middle, man, which I think is acceptable for the final Bond movie.
Yeah, it's just it's dropping is what it's doing, and it has crossed the $500 million mark, which is, I mean, $500 million isn't a flop, but it needs to make like 600 million just to break even. So what it's not is a bona fide success. It usually, this is like $1 billion property or close to $1 billion property, and it's not making that. So I think it'll break even. It'll do fine. I don't think it's a flop, but it's not a hit either.
I've got the numbers here. Yeah, James Bond pick No Time to Die raised past 500 million globally, so it's about $525 million right now. Andy's right; they're looking to make more than that. Originally, during the pandemic, when they were talking about selling the film to MGM, was talking about selling the film rights to Netflix or Amazon or something. They wanted 800 million for it. That was their asking price at the door. So we have an idea, at least, of what they kind of wanted to make. They're definitely still falling short. Obviously, they still got some time. There's gonna be Blu-ray sales. They'll probably end up crossing the mark, but maybe not quite as exciting as they'd hoped. And two more things. The French Dispatch, Wes Anderson's new film, comes out this next week globally. But I wanted to mention this statistic. They soft released in only 52. That can't be right. 52 locations. No, okay, this stat's wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. Let's just move on to Dune. I don't want to get caught up in the French Dispatch. We'll talk about it next week. I want to talk about Dune, so it's time to talk about Dune. Andy, any other thoughts before Dune?
I'm ready. I feel like we've talked about it a lot.
Let's talk about. Please take it away. You're going to be covering the summary on this. Without further ado, sir.
Dune. So this is the long-awaited sci-fi epic by director Denis Villeneuve, starring Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa, Stellan Skarsgård. This really great cast. This, as we've talked a lot about this. This is based on the 1965 novel and kind of series by Frank Herbert, who was a science fiction writer. This film has had a troubled kind of production in the past. David Lynch made a version in the 80s that's really bad. French director Jodorowsky wanted to make like an 8 to 10 hour epic film about this, which there was a documentary of. That film never got made.
Jodorowsky's Dune is the name of that documentary, and I really want to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
So this is kind of a storied property that everyone has wanted to see on screen. It was deemed unfilmable, and here we are. So the story it centers on a young Paul Atreides, played by Timothée Chalamet, who is the heir to the son of House Atreides, and this is taking place far in the future, 10,000 years from now. His family has been gifted or given the planet Arrakis, which is this desert-like planet, and it has this resource called spice that's very valuable. They have been tasked with going to the planet, kind of ramping up production while also subduing or making peace with the locals, which are known as Fremen. So there's a lot of there's a lot of names.
Man,
it's a lot. It's a lot like Game of Thrones. So I'm going to try not get too much in the weeds.
You're taking an admirable stab at it. I want you to know that. Go on. Yeah.
So and the planet Arrakis has been taken from a kind of a rival house called the Harkonnen, who aren't real happy about the situation. So House Atreides goes to the desert planet Arrakis, and it's a very dangerous situation, politically dangerous. There's everyone wants them to fail. They have to somehow make peace with the natives. Essentially, they have to ramp up production. They have to make sure they're not getting stabbed in the back at the same time. So there's a lot of kind of political intrigue happening. Meanwhile, in the background is this kind of prophecy of this messianic prophecy of the one person who is going to come and kind of free the people, save the world.
The Christ figure. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And many people believe it to be the young Paul Atreides, Timothy Chalamet, who may well be the savior of cinema as well, while we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of characters, but that's kind of the overall of the story. That's our setup. Again, this is far in the future, sci-fi. You got planets, houses, political intrigue, and lots going on and lots to talk about. But that's what we got so far. So, Zach, what'd you think?
So I really enjoyed Dune. Just off the top, I thought Dune was a ton of fun. I think Dune is a vast, expansive film. I think it sets so many. It builds a really brilliant framework for how I think a interesting cinematic universe can be built in a short span of time. It accomplishes a ton in its 2 hour and 45-minute runtime. Somehow it's like the shortest 3 hour movie I've ever seen. Like it just felt like it flew by. The only downside of Dune is that it does not quite feel like a complete film. It's lacking something at the end of it, and that will come with time, as Legendary Pictures confirmed today, with another film. But what is here is so rich and exciting and engaging for science fiction fans. If you like sci-fi film, you cannot miss with this movie. You have got to go see Dune. Now let's talk about why.
Well, I my 2 cents of this overall impression was I was really blown away by this, and I came into this kind of skeptical because I knew it was a big property. I knew it had the young Chalamet, and I was like, well, how good can it really be? But I did, Denis Villeneuve is fantastic director, but I was blown away by the visuals, by the kind of epic story, the soundtrack. I mean, it's really cinema on the largest scale. And I mean, it made me think of other films and how small they look in comparison. Like this makes Star Wars look quaint. This makes Christopher Nolan look small, who generally is thinking on large scales. And I was just thinking how much better this movie is than some of those others that we know so well.
It's so unique in its presentation that way, because yeah, you're right, it feels so grand. I mean, this does not feel like a small director making like a big feature. This feels like somebody with sweeping scope and vision building something grand. And I think a big part of the reason that is because Villeneuve has such a great eye for scope and scale. You may remember way back when Arrival came out, seeing that giant vertical ship amongst like people on the ground who were standing out in the field where it was parked, and you'd get this wide camera view where you see it together. You see people, and we know the size of them, and we see these ships which are huge, and that immediate visual distinction between the size of something we know and something fictional and new draws a tangibility to it that makes it feel real. And that's what this movie is all about. Every time you see something big and large, there's something there to indicate just how huge it is, right? You'll see Paul Atreides look like an ant next to a giant city, or you'll see his father look like a small something next to a huge ship. It's incredible. It's incredible, and that's something Villeneuve has it feels like he's mastered here.
Right. His world building is so convincing. Again, this is the future, but it's not Star Wars. And I listened to a podcast where they said they specifically are not trying to look like, they don't want anyone to think, oh, this is like Star Wars. And they've done a really good job with it. I think one of the things, like you said, is scale. Like we're talking massive ships, massive fleets.
Yeah. Huge shit, man.
Massive ships.
Yeah.
Sorry. Things in space, but also it's quite small in that it's dealing with a family, a mother, father, son, like these really close relationships, as well. And just it looks very military, much more, and that's something that I think really sets it apart from Star Wars. Star Wars is much more like, again, it's the space western. This is much more militant. All the different houses, they have uniforms. Everything's kind of this dull gray. But like I said, they got these massive ships and machines, and that's really inventive, because that's one of the alleged signs of really advanced super civilizations is superstructures, and that's what we kind of see in this film.
Yeah. Additionally, like you mentioned that kind of shift in color palettes. The film principal photography for Dune took place in a couple of places, mostly Norway and Abu Ghraib, and then like out in the deserts out that way. And I don't know where exactly that stuff takes place, but what I do know is visually it looks fantastic. Like we get these wonderful distinctions. You can see it in the poster, and additionally, if you're looking at us on Facebook Live, I've got a screenshot there from the film you can see as well. Like you get these wonderful draws of blue and orange that really come out, right? The orange of the sand and the spice melange that's just floating there above the surface, versus like these rich blues of like a planet just off the edge of space, or this unique color we see out in where they're filming out in Norway. But Villeneuve's ability to like draw visual contrast in the lens is phenomenally important. Additionally, brilliant costuming and set design all around. It makes these places feel so much more tangible, right? Every soldier is in a uniform that is cut for them, that looks like it's been passed down from generations of humans and tradition, right? And legacy that you'd see in these military outfits. The Fremen on Arrakis have these like I want to say almost like Tatooine, which again I should not be comparing this to Star Wars, but they look like these sand dwellers, right? Who have these rags on them and like all these goofy uh, trappings for survival. It makes everything feel so tangible. Like I know I keep saying that, but like it just makes it feel like something you could reach out and touch. And so often Star Wars feels like an amusement park ride, or it feels like
Like a cartoon.
a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, but this feels like something different. And you're right, it could so easily fall into just looking or feeling like Star Wars, but it totally doesn't. Really, something future Star Wars creators should be looking at for inspiration. It's a movie like Dune.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's what I was thinking. I was when I was watching, I was like, this looks so much. This is so much more inspired than Star Wars is at the moment. In 1977, Star Wars was inspiring, but in the last few years, it really hasn't been in a lot of ways. And this film thinks bigger, like acts bigger. It wants you to. I mean, just this again. We're going to talk about scope quite a lot, like the scope of the settings, the epic at hand, like these warring houses. It's incredible.
Additionally, we should probably talk about the scope of our cast, which is sweeping. I cropped it out on the Facebook stream if you're watching. But at the top of the poster, there's so many names you can't even like read them unless you're right up close to them. I mean, it's an incredible cast of characters here. Andy, I hope you have a quick list together in case I need to cut to you because I won't be able to get them all here. But some of the more exciting ones are going to be Timothy Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Zendaya, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa, Stellan Skarsgård, Javier Bardem, Dave Bautista. I mean, the list goes on. Josh Brolin's in this movie, and everybody's actually pretty good too, which is another thing that's stunning. Everybody's well directed, whether they're in the film a little or a lot. Some are in the film a little less time, I think, to probably build to their appearance more in the second one. Others are really foundational here and likely won't be appearing in the second one much at all. It makes things feel like part of a whole, right? Part of a cohesive universe. This is
Yeah, a fellowship.
yes. This is only the beginning, as is said in the movie and on the poster, right? This is the beginning of something more.
Yeah, the again, you have the epic scope of the setting, but then yes, you have these royal houses that have royal guards. Oscar Isaac is the Duke Leto Atreides, who's like kind of the king of his house, and then you have his wife, or not his wife, his I don't know what to call her in the in the book, Lady Jessica Atreides.
Lady Jessica, yeah.
Timothy Chalamet's mother. She's a very important figure. They have a very special and close relationship, and also strained relationship at the same time. It's very interesting, and you have Josh Brolin basically playing himself along with I can't remember.
Momoa.
Jason Momoa, yeah, as kind of military
Duncan,
leaders.
Idaho.
So,
Yes.
so you get a really interesting and diverse cast of characters in the desert people. And this is one thing I appreciate. The desert people are generally more dark-skinned people, which is generally what happens with
Yeah.
people that have lived in the desert for years and years. So yeah, an incredible cast, and that was actually one of the challenging things about this film was getting everyone together, lining up schedules.
Yeah, like just trying to figure out the scale and scope of this through putting it together on the tail end at least of the pandemic. I'm not sure when principal photography wrapped, but I'd imagine they were probably running into February 2019 when they did, and that's that's gonna be when everything was shutting down. So I want to talk about the structure a little bit, and I don't want to get too into any kind of spoilers or anything. I think this is one of those movies you probably are best experiencing going in as fresh as possible. So already I feel like we're towing the line of what we should be telling you and shouldn't be telling you. But if you're still interested and haven't tuned out to go watch Dune yet, I think the structure of this film is really interesting. The first couple hours really is world building, and I knew going into Dune. I haven't read the book, I haven't seen the David Lynch film. Neither has Andy. We're both pretty fresh on this, so I probably should have said that at the top. If you're out of the loop on what Dune is, so were we. So good news, you're not going to be missing anything. But the first couple of hours of this are building the world of Dune, and I knew going in that that was going to be difficult to do. I'd heard before that like there's just so much detail that you have to be able to understand. You have to be able to understand these large political systems. You have to be able to understand where power is, what spice is, how it works, why it's important. All of that matters. And yeah, a show like Game of Thrones has the political trappings to produce that over the course of 4 or 5 episodes in the first season when they can start to introduce characters slowly over time. But Dune has to do that all in one feature, and Villeneuve does that brilliantly.
Yeah,
Everything is go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say that we are, like you said, we're both very fresh to the property, and I didn't feel lost at all. And I was now I found out there's a bunch of lore, and people have said, well, this is why this is that, and that, but you can enjoy it without knowing all that. It's not a requirement at all. It makes it a little bit more interesting, but you can totally go in fresh without knowing anything about the world or having read the books, and you're gonna enjoy it a lot.
Additionally, like you don't feel particularly overwhelmed because everything is paced very slowly, right? Everything is drip fed. It starts at the beginning, and you don't even open with like text on screen, which Villeneuve could not get away with for Blade Runner 2049. Even that he had to open with like a big text wall that tells you what's going on. This doesn't have any of that. It just starts off with dialogue and explanation. And I love that. And each character will take a little time throughout the film to maybe explain things as they come or tell you a little bit more about them. It all feels contextual. It'll either be Paul Atreides' father explaining something to him politically, or maybe his mother teaching him a little bit more about where she comes from, or maybe he'll be at school watching a film book, as he calls them, that are teaching him about the desert planet of Arrakis and the harsh things that live there. Like it's all opportunities for the characters to learn more, and we get to come along for the ride. And it's all fed to us slowly enough and with a tight enough script that it never feels overwhelming or too confusing. I felt like I was able to keep up with everything without even really trying, and that's not an easy thing to do with a property that people say is unfilmable. It's really
Yeah,
hard to do.
right. I think the while scope is difficult in itself, I think what's even more difficult is just to do scope in story, to have an epic tale and tell it in a convincing way that you're not just rolling your eyes at, because when I realized that it would be very easy to be like, oh, look, another messianic figure, let me roll my eyes, and that's not the case at all.
No, not at all. A couple other quick things because we're running out of time, and I would love to talk about it more, but I don't. I want people to go see it and judge for themselves. I want to talk about the combat in the movie. It's something that I noticed. Combat in the film is a little limited by the technology available in the world of Dune. People use these like personal shields that are colored blue to fight with hand-to-hand combat. Not a lot of guns or projectiles in the world of Dune. Really interesting. You get a lot of these fight scenes where you'll have multiple soldiers or people using these units fighting at the same time, and you get these flashes of blue and red up on screen. It's a really clever way to have like a unique choreography and fighting style that builds your world without having to just have like blood fly across screen or fly across the screen, or just have
Yeah.
kind of traditional violence as we all know it. Unique, simple world building. I liked it. I'm a fan. The choreography in this movie, the fight choreography is kind of neat.
Yeah, you don't have this kind of it would be very easy just to have like mindless gun battles
Of
where
course.
like side A and side B are just shooting around corners and it, whatever. It's definitely not like that. And I read about why they kind of don't use firearms in this. There's a nerdy sci-fi explanation for it, but there is for a lot of things in this movie, but it's not important. You can just, again, you can go along for the ride without knowing all that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think that ultimately the script does so effectively. It cuts stuff out of the book that you don't need to know in a way that doesn't feel non-contextual. After the movie came out and we went and saw it a couple days after, yeah, you were sending me a couple links like, hey, in the world of Dune, this is a thing, and it's never mentioned in the film, but as in the rules of the film as you know it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, I get why they wouldn't use that technology, or okay, I understand why they would practice this ritual instead of that one. Really, really, really efficient screenplay adaptation. Hopefully award worthy, but we'll see come award season. And Andy, any other big thoughts? I feel like I could talk about it more, but I kind of just people should probably just go see it, right?
Yeah, amazing for score by
Oh my God, yeah,
Hans Zimmer. I've been listening to it on repeat. Definitely adds to the scope, epic scope of the film.
yeah, stunning score. And one more thing, Andy, how did we watch this, and how do you think people should go see it if possible?
We saw this in theater. I've actually seen this twice already.
Oh my God, I
We
didn't know you
went,
went and saw it again.
I went with a different friend on Saturday because we saw it on Thursday night.
We did.
And then I actually ended up seeing it again on Saturday afternoon. So
Did you
I've
get
seen it
like
twice.
IMAX or Dolby Cinema or anything?
No, it was just another Alamo. But
Okay.
definitely see this in theater, and I'm definitely going to pay to see it a third time and go see it in IMAX. I wonder if they do a D box thing for this as well, because that would also be pretty fun, I think.
That's a good question. There's definitely a Dolby Cinema poster. So if you have one of those by you as well and you can't get to an IMAX, you can at least feel your seat shake when the ships take off, which is a great time. I might go that way. But I do need to go see it again as well. Yeah, I watched it in theaters as well. Andy and I went and saw it Thursday night premiere, Alamo Drafthouse. Support your local Alamo. And, we heard from some people that watched it on HBO and they were like, yeah, it was good. And Andy and I were meanwhile like floored.
Yeah,
like blew our hair back in our seats like the greatest thing
like
we'd
my
ever
life has been
seen.
changed again.
Obviously I haven't watched it on HBO and I can't hop in a time machine and go back to a time before I saw it in theaters. But if you have the means, like based on what I saw, like please go see this in the theater. Like I know there's a lot of advantages to watching stuff on HBO. I love watching stuff at home, and for some of these smaller features, especially some of the ones we're going to talk about this next month, coming up in November in just a second, some of those you might want to just stay home and watch. It's fine, but like Dune, my God, like if you can go to the movie theater and watch anything in
Yeah,
2021, it might have to be Dune. I mean, oh,
I,
cinematic spectacle.
I remember when The Force Awakens came out, and I saw it over at the Omni Theater in Fort Worth, which
Yeah.
is like the globe shape theater. Like this needs to be on that screen.
Yeah, for sure. Like you just want something tremendous. You just want to be swallowed by that image.
Yeah,
Andy, any other thoughts for recommendations?
I'm ready.
Andy, would you recommend Dune?
Absolutely, it's definitely one of the best films of the year, if not the best film of the year. With definitely a lot of stuff still to come out. But I mean, this reminds me of big hits from the last 10 years, things like Mad Max, Fury Road, Inception. It might very well be one of the best films of the decade, which is very early to be saying that, but it's tremendous. I've seen it twice. I loved it. I've been watching clips online and have the soundtrack. It's that blend of bold cinema. It is complex, interesting, complicated science fiction, but also there's good action. There's good spectacle. It's for everyone. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I highly recommend as well. Walk, don't run, don't walk to the theater. Dune is great. Like, don't watch it on HBO. Go see it. Take a friend to go see it. Take your dad to go see it. Take your son to go see it. Take your mom to go see it. Like Dune's good stuff. And I know it's not for everybody. Before I just say everybody should go see Dune. Like there are going to be people who are going to feel overwhelmed by the amount of information here, who are not signing up for some kind of like large grand epic. There are people who just want to go to the movies and munch popcorn sometimes. That's okay. It's not for everybody. But if you have the means, if you've listened to this review and are even mildly intrigued, go check out Dune. And if you're not intrigued, watch it on HBO, I guess. But either way, go see what Dune's about because there's more coming. Again, Warner Brothers is building a series reportedly Denis Villeneuve says he wants to do 3 films. This is just number 2. This is the beginning. More could come. And speaking of things coming down the line, Andy, there's some exciting things coming out in November, which I'm, excited to talk about.
That's right. It's time for our November film preview.
Mm.
So the first weekend in November, November 4th / 5th, we got a number of things coming out. The first is the Western The Harder They Fall, which will be out on Netflix. It might also be a theatrical release. They might be doing a hybrid.
Limited theatrical or something.
You're right. That stars Idris Elba, Regina King, Lakeith Stanfield, and a lot of others. I think it's almost an all-black cast. And this looks really fun. It looks like a great kind of stylized Western. I think it's already come out in some, like in the UK and some other places. So that'll be one thing we're looking forward to. And then, of course, the big one is Eternals, Marvel's Eternals, November 5th, theaters only. That'll be a big deal. Looking forward to that. And then the smaller movie Spencer, which is about Lady Diana Spencer, Princess of Wales, will also be out. Rest in peace, since that's coming out the same day as Eternals.
Spencer looks like a great time. Have you seen any reviews for Eternals, Anna? You traditionally avoid reviews, so
I do. I think they've been all right. I think they've been
all right. We'll see. We'll see what Eternals is about.
It's still gonna make a ton of money.
The Harder They Fall actually does have a limited release. It's actually available in some theaters in some parts of the country right now. There's two theaters near us that are running 2 limited shows today. So it looks like the limited theatrical release is October 22nd. It's coming to Netflix on November 3rd. If you have the means, check out The Harder They Fall. Might be a good time. Yeah. And I guess I should, let me take the next weekend. Hey, the next weekend, the weekend of November 12th, 2 exciting films coming out. The first one is Belfast. It's the new Kenneth Branagh film about a young boy and his working class family experiencing a tumultuous late 1960s. It's set in
the Troubles.
Yeah, it's right. That.
Sorry, I read a book about this. That's why I know.
Okay, I was immediately gonna jump into like the struggle of the white man, just having a tough time. But I genuinely have no idea what life was like in working class London in the '60s. So for all I know, it might have been terrible. I didn't.
Belfast is in Ireland.
Okay, well, excuse me.
The trouble. Yeah,
maybe I need to go see the movie and learn more. So
just real quick. Yes, the Troubles was a time of political turmoil in Northern Ireland between 1969 and I think 1974, basically between 2 factions. I mean, this is Catholic and Protestant. Believe it was the Protestant government, which was not like 90% Protestant and kind of controlled all aspects of government, housing, food, jobs, all that. And it just kind of turned into a civil war for several years, very bloody on both sides. At one point, there were like 30,000 people in paramilitary organizations, and it's a very small country. It's like 2 million people, so it's a very small country to be at this big war. So this movie covers people growing up in that environment in the late 60s.
Gotcha. I apologize. I was blissfully unaware of that. To be in my ignorant defense, all right. Yeah, excuse my ignorance.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, let me explain how I was somehow right. The trailer's a little dry. You're definitely not going to get it. You're not getting combat scenes in the trailer for Belfast. It's pretty simple. But it could be neat. Branagh's done some good work. Who knows? The other big movie coming out on November 12th is Red Notice. It's the new spy thriller coming to Netflix, starring Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot as a trio of spies who have to, heist something,
steal the thing, grab the fight.
I think they're against each other, and then they have to team up to save the world or whatever. It's a star-studded Netflix romp. It's probably pretty simple. If it's got a decent script, it'll be fun. We might check it out. We'll see.
Moving on to the November 19th, we got a couple of big ones here. Ghostbusters Afterlife, finally coming to theaters after like a year and a half of delay. I'm not super excited about it, but I'll definitely go see it just to see what it's all about. Who knows, it might surprise me. And the other big release is King Richard, which is about the father of Venus and Serena Williams, played by Will Smith, and his story of him raising these 2 girls to be world-class tennis stars. And that looks really good, and I'm sure that'll be Oscar baity and everything.
Yeah, let me tell you, Ghostbusters Afterlife is a film that normally I'd be excited about. I'm a very big Ghostbusters 1 and 2 fan. The third one was a bit of a miss for me. It was just a different direction. And this one is obviously trying to fall back into the lane of Ghostbusters 1 and 2, but early reviews are middling, and we'll have to see when it comes out. Additionally, King Richard didn't look this opposite problem. Didn't look that good when I first saw the first couple trailers, but there was a cinematic trailer in front of Dune that looked pretty solid. I was like, okay, hold on. Like I'm starting to see the trappings of this looking cool. So we'll see. That'll be in theaters, and I think that'll be on HBO as well when it comes out on the 19th. But I'm
What's
not
that?
sure. King Richard. I think
Oh,
that's on
right.
that HBO release
That's
list.
right.
There
That's
we go.
right.
And lastly, November 26th, it sees three really big releases. First of all, House of Gucci, the other Ridley Scott feature that's coming out this year. If The Last Duel didn't do it for you, and supposedly it did. I mean, Andy said that movie was awesome.
I think I'm the only one who like has enjoyed it,
For
but
what it's worth, I've seen a couple other reviews from people I know that watch films since, and they have equally said it's great. I need to go see that movie. Like I think it really flew under the radar. But House of Gucci is going to be a lot larger, I think, of a release. It features Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Jared Leto is in this movie. Much more exciting. It's fashion and intrigue, and it's going to be backstabbing. It should be something. Additionally, Licorice Pizza, the new Paul Thomas Anderson film, is coming out soon. Looks like a whimsical romp around the late 70s, early 80s with a couple of kiddos who are just finding their way in the film world. I've never seen Paul Thomas Anderson make a movie like that ever before. I'm sure it'll be great. Although I should say it does feature a couple of young upstarts, including Philip Seymour Hoffman's son is the lead, is one of the leads in this movie. So next time you see that trailer, take a look. Might be surprised. And lastly, Encanto from Disney is where Encanto's coming out. God, I'm putting it together for the end of the show. Here we go. From Disney, it's gonna be on Disney Plus. Encanto is the new Pixar. I don't even think it's Pixar. I think it's just Disney animated. From the
right.
studio behind Frozen and Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph. Encanto is the story of a young woman who lives with her family that's entirely magical. Everybody has a unique power. Everybody has a gift except her. She's totally normal. So naturally, shenanigans will occur, I think. Andy, what do you think about these three?
Well, I'm excited for House of Gucci. That looks interesting. I'd love to see Lady Gaga on screen. Licorice Pizza. I'm kind of hot and cold on.
Yeah, man.
Is this P.T. Anderson or I can't remember
Oh, is
which
it
Anderson?
P.T. Anderson? Oh,
I can't remember.
yeah. Is it the director of the Resident Evil films or the director of
No,
The Master?
the Master. Yeah.
I
God.
think it's The Master. Yeah.
I am. We'll see. That could be a great coming of age film. It could be some self indulgent mess.
Dude, I'm
Uh,
so I've told you this before. I'm so hit or miss on him. I really am. I will either love one of his movies or think it's absolute trash. I don't know
like
how that
yeah,
happens
no,
to me.
like I love There Will Be Blood, but like you couldn't pay me to watch The Master again.
Right. Whereas I think The Master is like some of the finest cinema, and a movie like I don't know. I got one in my head. I can't think of that. I just am not into from him. Anyway, Encanto will be fun. Do we know if that's going to be Disney Plus like premium or anything? You pay like $30 to
I
watch that.
don't know.
Okay, well we'll know more next week. I think we'll be closer to it. Anyway, we should wrap up the show. I've got one more review for you. This is a movie that flew under the radar a little bit for us. We saw some really strong trailers for this before the pandemic. We wanted to see it, and then everything got shut down. This got pushed back. Andy and I never heard anything. Andy's got a big review site. He loves out of England. Andy, give him a shameless plug. What are they called?
That's the Kermode and Mayo's film review on
That's right.
the BBC.
Excellent reviewers, and they saw this movie, and they were actually big fans, right? I seem to remember you telling me they liked it a lot.
Yeah, so this is a British made film, and it came out in the UK
Yeah.
last fall, so it would have been fall of 2020. They loved it, and it was definitely people were seeing it over there. It's got like it's very British. It's got a very British cast, no Americans.
It's
So it was kind
true.
of a hit over there.
So, with all of that precedent, I want to say we're excited to talk about A24's Saint Maud. So, Saint Maud is the story of a young, lonely, reclusive hospice nurse. It's set in modern times, but you may not know it looking at the setting. Saint Maud entirely follows this young woman, Maud, played by Morphe Clark, mostly a newcomer. She's done a couple other films. She is reclusive. She's quiet. She doesn't really have any friends. She has one patient who she takes care of, who's mostly live-in. She's pretty much there all the time. But the thing Maude has going for her is a devout, pious connection to Christ, right? The good Lord God above. She has crosses on her walls and she prays every day, and she feels a genuine, intimate, spiritual, often physical connection to him. And when she discovers that her ward, who's quickly dying of cancer, isn't actually saved, right? Her soul is doomed to eternal damnation in the fires of hell. Maude takes it upon herself to try to save her soul, and ultimately maybe overcommit to a kind of evil that people just don't expect to see in a small film like this. Saint Maud is 84 minutes long and change. It is not even quite feature length. It features a very small cast. It's directed by Rose Glass, a filmmaker who I've seen no other films from before this. Andy, what did you think of Saint Maud?
So this is really a nice little interesting film. It's shot very well. Like you said, it is mostly a character study of a very lonely girl. We learn a little bit that she was working at a different hospital for the NHS, National Health Service, the NHS, which can be very difficult. That like they lack a lot of money and resources. There was something happened where she was terminated or let go from that job. People are surprised that she's still nursing and can still actually even get a job. So that kind of says a lot about her past as a nurse. And she kind of befriends this very famous, or it's someone who's dying of cancer, but
A dancer, I
yeah,
think she was.
used to be a famous dancer. And they kind of get along at the beginning, and then Maude gets a little overzealous with her desire to kind of convert this woman. But like you said, in the end, it's just a story about kind of a sad, lonely girl who has turned to religion to not only not feel lonely, but also to kind of turn around her life. You get the sense that she used to be like very wild, or used to like party a lot, as well as doing her job that may have affected her job. But she's dealing with a lot of demons of the past, and seems like she's turned her life around.
Yeah, it's an interesting setup because you looking at the trailer, it seems like Maud is simultaneously our protagonist, right? The character we're following around in the film, but also kind of the villain, right? She's also where our antagonistic force is coming from, because she is the vessel for really whatever kind of energy or evil is happening under the surface. So it's a weird movie to kind of follow, because at first it kind of opens with her, and it's a page out of her diary, and we're learning a little bit about her and her day. And it's strange because going in, like, something's wrong with this woman, and I haven't quite figured out what it is yet. And the movie does a really good job of kind of dropping these breadcrumbs in front of you. They don't actually lead back to anywhere, right? You can just kind of see a little bit of where we've come from, but we don't actually know what it is we've seen. We know Maud has had this past. We know she is kind of this different person now. Like, we know she used to go out, she used to do things. We know there was some kind of tragic incident that should have pushed her out of nursing, and now she's with a different institution. We know this is what ultimately likely pushed her into God, right? Into finding kind of Christianity. But what we don't know is what exactly happened.
Right.
And we know it was bloody, and we know it was bad, and we know she shouldn't have her job anymore. And that's an interesting backdrop for a character we don't really know a lot about.
Right. And we're also learning that she's kind of slowly losing kind of touch with reality, or she's kind of losing her mind. She does have a very physical response to kind of these religious experiences, and she definitely seeks out pain. Like, she does this at the beginning of the film, she like kneels on rocks while she prays.
They're popcorn kernels.
That's
She
right.
opens a microwave bag of popcorn kernels in front of, like, where she prays, and then kneels on them to pray. And it's oh,
Yeah. So
interesting body horror.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of that kind of like cleansing through suffering, cleansing through pain, and she has I mean, what looks like very kind of almost sexual reactions to, like, she'll pray and
Yes.
something will happen that she wanted to happen, and she experiences like this divine episode, and where she's like writhing on the
It's
floor, and
yeah, it very, very much I think imitates an orgasm. Yeah,
yeah,
that's kind of what's going on
absolutely.
there. Yeah.
So she is having very, very, what appears to her, very real experiences, and she wants to then give that to her, the person that she's looking after. But there is a lot of conflict, a lot of trouble there eventually.
The film features a small cast. There's not a lot of people outside of our lead and her ward, this dancer. There are a few people who kind of drift in and out. Mostly, this woman is staying at home. Right? She's cancer. She cannot leave. She's in like stage 5. Like it's bad. She's wheelchair bound. But people come visit. Some of them are friends. At one point, there's a scene with a small birthday party. Others may be lovers. Just visitors who come and go. And Maude, unfortunately, finds herself in a position where she wants to inject herself into this and say, "Hold on, you can't come in here. She's resting." Or in the case of somebody who maybe is an adulterer, right? You can't come in here. She has bigger fish to fry. This is life and death, Maude says. I'm saving her soul. There is no room for earthly coils
Earthly,
here.
yeah,
Like,
earthly pleasures.
yeah, like we're not doing that here. And that quickly comes to a head in the film when our ward discovers that Maude is trying to kind of police around her. But Maude, you're absolutely right, feels a genuine physical connection, a tangible connection to whatever this is. And the film never really gives away the ghost. And I love that. It's never going to tell you, hey, she is actually listening to God, or hey, she's crazy. You get some really interesting evidence visually for what may be going on, but ultimately you have to kind of suss that out before the end of the film, and that's a lot of fun because again, this is 84 minutes. It's just quick.
It's
It's
quick.
it's fast. It's easy, and it's refreshing, even for being so dark.
Hmm. I yeah, I was really impressed by, again, it's small, it's quick. I'm kind of lost. I had a better point, now I lost my
I
train
can I
of
can take
thought.
and run with it for a minute.
Keep
I got another
going.
one.
I'll
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back. I'll think about it.
I
I'll
was
come
so
back to
impressed
it.
by the look of this film because this house that we're shooting in looks like it's almost fallen apart. It looks old and it's starting to look dilapidated and it looks like there's mold on the walls. It looks a lot like a house you'd see in a haunted house A24 film, but it's visual, right? It represents kind of this older institution of religion and Christianity and these wooden crosses and wooden prayer beads. That Maude is literally cladding herself in, right? Like this older institution, this historical, ancient idea, maybe an ancient evil. Additionally, it reflects our ward, right? The woman who's dying, whose house this clearly is, right? This is the end of time. We're on the past. We're past kind of her prime, and the setting fits that. It's dark and it's dingy and it's perfect for an A24 horror flick, right? And it also plays a really great setting for. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm almost done. The
It's
body
all right.
horror stuff that you had already talked about, the popcorn kernels or like thumbtacks, like in your shoes or just like little small things that visually are really easy to pull off for a film, but make the audience just feel creeped out in their seat. Like this movie does that a few times, and it's really effective, really simple horror filmmaking. Really good stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the scares a little bit. So there's, like we said, a lot of body horror, and there's a few scares in here. This is all I'll say. You can count the scares on one hand, and every one of them made me like jump out of my skin, which I didn't. Especially
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
this, because this isn't really a jump scare kind of film,
No,
but there's a few in there. When the very first one, I just about died. Like, I audibly yelled in my apartment.
you got that new
Uh,
sound bar though. You got
yeah.
that big screen, man. I bet you were blasting it out in there.
So there's some really, really good scares in here, as well as the body horror stuff.
Yeah, and one more quick thing, because I know we're coming up on time. The cast, like I said, is very small, very intimate, almost entirely women, which is really interesting. I thought for a minute there weren't actually any men in the film. There's actually like 4 or 5 listed here, and most of them are extras. There is one guy who appears briefly in a scene. Otherwise, Almost entirely women. Director is Rose Glass. Previously to this, she's done almost all shorts. So this is her first feature. And a special mention from Morphe. I think her name is Morphe. I'm
I
probably
think it's
pronouncing it wrong.
Morphid.
Morphid. I
Hmm.
think she's from Norway. Morphid Clark. She's awesome as Maude. She is super good. She's so like she just at times she seems so warm and full of life and embracing of like God's good grace. Other times she's like gaunt and hollow and like just looks like she's been sucked of all life and love and joy. Really, really outstanding performance from her. Really great stuff.
Absolutely.
Andy, any other thoughts for recommendations?
I'm ready.
Andy, would you recommend Saint Maud?
Yeah, absolutely would for fans of the horror genre. It's quick, it's simple. Again, there's just a handful of people in the movie. 84 4 minutes. And again, it's kind of a character study on loneliness more than anything else. And man, the stuff that creeps you out really creeps you out. The body horrors, a couple of scares, like it's good stuff. I really enjoyed it.
I'm in the same boat. Saint Maud's a lot of fun, and I can't help but say it's worth a try. But like in 84 minutes, like how could you not try? It's barely over an hour. You could watch this movie on an extended lunch break. Like it's crazy how accessible this is. It's on Hulu. You can go watch it whenever you like. It has on there that like it's got the little Epic subscription thing next to it, but like I don't have that, and it didn't stop me from watching it. Didn't stop Andy
I
either.
think
So
that's where it was originally. It was on that Epic streaming whatever, but
yeah.
it's on Hulu now.
So yeah, if you have Hulu, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's soft. It's not a killer A24 flick like The Green Knight, but like you could certainly do worse, right? You could be like Slice. So, same mod, not too shabby. Andy, what are we watching next week?
Big week next week. Halloween
Yes.
is coming up this weekend, and finally we have Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho, which we've been looking forward to all year, starring Anya Taylor-Joy and Thomasin McKenzie.
Yes.
We'll see what that's all about this weekend. Looking forward to that a lot, as well as Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch, which also stars the young Chalamet,
That's right.
Timothy Chalamet. As well as a huge cast of others. So that's kind of the other things. Timothy Chalamet had a huge opening with Dune, and then also a huge opening on like an indie film.
Yep.
He could do it all.
He's the next big thing. Maybe Amazon will scoop him up for Bond. Wouldn't that be a surprise?
Yeah, I mean, people are talking about him like they used to talk about Heath Ledger, like he's like
Yes.
that big.
Yeah. And he's I'm in the same boat as you, man. I don't want to like him. Kid's good. I can't help deny it. The kid's good. Like he's
Yeah.
got some chops, man. Like he's not just a pretty face. He's good at what he does. He's good in Little Women. He's good in this. He's gonna be good in French Dispatch. I hope.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for French Dispatch.
I was gonna say, director Denis Villeneuve said, and I quote, he said something like, "Timothy Chalamet is a once in a decade kind of talent."
Yeah, like he's
So.
very good. It's okay. Don't fight it. All right, just get excited about it.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
we got hot new
I'm
talent.
on the train
Hey,
now.
if
I'm
I
on the
could hop
train
in a time
now.
machine and grabbed Heath Ledger and bring him to now, you bet I would, man. Like we need talent like that. It's an exciting week at the movies for me. I'm stoked about Last Night in Soho. I still have not seen the final trailer for it. I've avoided it. At one point, I literally averted my eyes in a theater. Andy watched. He saw. He laughed. In French Dispatch, I'm stoked about because I like Wes Anderson. Andy, not so much, but you're going to be objective. I know you
See,
can.
yeah,
Look, it's just gonna be. I heard it's kind of short. That's nice, and it's gonna be.
I'm
It's gonna be beige, and it's gonna be a whole lot of symmetrical stuff. You'll love it.
Sure,
It'll be
sure, yeah.
great. Yeah, it'll be tan. If you enjoyed the show today, if you like what we're doing here, if you want to hear more, maybe tell us what you thought about Dune, or find out what we thought about some other smaller features that we didn't talk about on the show today. Email us at mail@offscriptfilmreview.com. Right into the show. Hit us with some correspondence. We might even read it live on the air. You can comment on Facebook, where we live stream the show every week. You can find us on iTunes and Spotify. You can rate and review down there. You can let us know what you think of the show. You can email us. You can visit us at our website, offscriptfilmreview.com, where we upload full episodes, interviews, other stuff we got going on. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We're around. We're in all those places. But the biggest thing you can do for the show, to do us a solid, is just subscribe or follow where you're able, right? If you're watching this on Facebook, throw us a follow. If you're listening on iTunes, hit subscribe. Just keep up with us a little bit. Check in maybe again sometime with what's going on with your cool off-script friends. We'll check in with you, and we'll keep you up to date on what's worth watching at the movies. From all of us at Off Script, the home of bold cinema, I'm Zach Lewis.
And I'm Dr. Draper.
Thanks for watching.